92 seconds. That's all it took for an ordinary commute to become a headline, for a father's calm voice to be drowned out by sirens. In those 92 seconds, one man's life, and one city's conscience, changed forever. This is not fiction. This is America seen through Marcus Reed's eyes. At 5:27 a.m., Marcus Reed's alarm buzzed like any other weekday. He silenced it with a practiced swipe, the kind you make when sleep is luxury and responsibility is routine. Outside, early traffic murmured, and somewhere down the hall, his 7-year-old son Jordan dreamed beneath a blanket patterned with cartoon rockets. Marcus lay still for a moment, feeling the rhythm of the house. A 2-bedroom duplex in Eastwood, the kind of neighborhood where porch lights glowed all night, not for style but for safety. He rolled from bed, careful not to wake his wife, Lena. In the kitchen, the coffee maker sputtered to life. The smell filled the room, blending with the soft crackle of an old gospel station playing from a phone speaker. Marcus liked mornings because they were quiet, predictable. He ironed his uniform shirt, the one stitched by Reed Logistics, supervisor, and checked the lunchbox he'd packed the night before. Peanut butter sandwich, apple slices, and a note for Jordan. "You got this, champ." When Jordan shuffled in, still half asleep, Marcus smiled. "Big math test today, remember?" The boy nodded, rubbing his eyes. "I studied. That's my guy." Lena entered next, robe tied tight, hair wrapped. "You're leaving early again?" "Yeah, we've got a truck coming in from Dallas. If I unload quickly, maybe I'll get back before dinner." She kissed him lightly. "Be safe, okay?" He laughed softly. "Always." Outside, dawn split the horizon. Streetlights blinked off, and the air smelled of rain that hadn't decided whether to fall. Marcus started his silver Nissan, its dashboard clock glowing 6:12. He hummed along to the radio as he turned onto 84th Street. He didn't see the black and white SUV idling 2 intersections ahead until its headlights flared once, then twice. The siren chirped, short, sharp, unnecessary. Marcus's hands tightened on the wheel. He signaled, pulled to the curb, and exhaled. A camera mounted on a nearby storefront caught the rest, footage that would later flood every social media feed in America. 2 officers stepped out. One young, jaw tense, hand near his holster. The other older, clipboard in hand, the mentor showing a trainee how power worked. "License and registration," the older one said. "Sure," Marcus answered, passing them through the cracked window. "Can I ask what this is about?" "Broken taillight." Marcus blinked. He'd replaced both bulbs last weekend. "Really? They were fine yesterday." "Step out of the vehicle, sir." Something in the tone chilled him. Still he obeyed. The younger officer circled behind the car, flashlight slicing through the dawn mist. "Keep your hands where I can see him." "I am," Marcus said, palms open. A jogger slowed nearby, watching. Her phone camera clicked on, the lens shaking as adrenaline set in. "What's in your pocket?" the young officer demanded. "My phone." "Don't reach for it." "I'm not." But fear doesn't need movement to escalate. It only needs imagination. Within seconds, Marcus was against the hood, wrists twisted. The coffee he'd balanced on the roof splashed across the pavement, steam rising like smoke. The body cam captured his words clearly, "I'm not resisting." And then, silence, except for the scrape of gravel and the sound of metal cuffs. 9 hours later, Marcus sat on a steel bench, wrists raw. The fluorescent light flickered. When the officer finally returned his phone, the screen lit with 12 missed calls from Lena. He dialed home. "Marcus? Oh my God, are you okay?" "I'm fine. They said I resisted." "What?" "That's a lie. They'll release me soon. They said on the news you assaulted an officer." He closed his eyes. "That's not true, Lena." Behind him, another detainee muttered, "Man, they always say that." At 7 p.m. they released Marcus on bail. No apology, no explanation, just a court date and a warning slip. Outside, reporters already waited. The jogger's video had gone viral. 1.8 million views and climbing, tagged #HeWasAFather. By the next morning, Marcus's face was everywhere. A local station ran grainy footage under the headline, "Routine Stop Turns Violent, Police Claim Suspect Resisted." At Reed Logistics, his supervisor called him into the office. "Corporate's nervous," the man said, avoiding eye contact. "You're on leave till this clears up." Marcus nodded once. "Paid. Let's just see how it goes." By day 3, his HR email arrived. Employment suspended pending investigation. Bills didn't suspend. Neither did the mortgage. Lena picked up double shifts at the clinic, shoulders tightening with each passing hour. At night, they whispered so Jordan wouldn't hear. What if they don't drop it? She asked. I'll fight it, Marcus said. I didn't do anything wrong. People don't care about right or wrong, she whispered. They care about what they see on a screen. Kayla Mendez was 29, fierce and sleep-deprived. A public defender who believed in evidence even when juries didn't. Her office was a maze of case files and half-drunk coffee cups. I read the report, she told Marcus. They said you were obstructed. I asked why I was stopped. That's obstruction, apparently. She sighed, flipping through papers. They're hoping you'll plead to avoid trial. I'm not pleading to do something I didn't do. I know. But understand, they'll drag this out until you're broke or broken. Marcus stared at the floor. They already broke something. Kayla leaned forward. Then let's make them regret it. 3 weeks passed. Then one night, Kayla called at 10:42 p.m. Marcus, are you sitting down? What's wrong? Someone leaked the body cam footage. He froze. What? It shows everything, the tail light, the cuffs, the way they handled you. The leak came from an anonymous source inside the department. Within hours, #JusticeForReed trended across Twitter. News anchors debated. Commentators dissected each frame as if truth were a sporting event. But for Marcus, it was surreal, watching strangers argue about his life while he sat in the same living room where Jordan built Lego castles. At school, Jordan came home with torn notebook pages scribbled with slurs. The teacher said she'd talk to the class. She didn't. Marcus met the principal. You need to protect my son. Mr. Reed, the man said, this case has made some parents uncomfortable. Marcus clenched his fists. Uncomfortable? He's 7. By week 5, the city split in half. Protests filled downtown streets, one side chanting his name, the other waving back the blue flags. A talk radio host called him the latest media martyr. Lena deleted her social media accounts after strangers flooded her inbox. Why do they hate us? Jordan asked one night. They don't know us, Marcus said softly. And people fear what they don't know. Outside their house, unmarked cars idled longer than usual. The hum of engines replaced the crickets. Kayla urged him to speak publicly. They're controlling the narrative, she said. Take it back. At first, Marcus refused. They'll twist my words. They already have, she answered. 2 days later, he stood on the courthouse steps, the crowd humming with cameras and chants. His hands trembled, but his voice didn't. I'm not perfect, he began. But I'm a father, a husband, a man who works hard and follows the rules. That morning I wasn't a suspect, I was a citizen. They treated me like a threat because of one thing they couldn't see past. Applause erupted. The clip hit every major network that night. Donations poured in for his defense. Behind the cheers, though, came the backlash. Anonymous emails. Late-night knocks that faded when the porch light turned on. Lena begged him to stop interviews. They're going to break us. Marcus looked at her, eyes tired but steady. They already tried. Now I'm just proving I'm still standing. The courthouse smelled of dust and coffee. Marcus had never been inside one until now. The first pretrial hearing was a formality, yet every click of a reporter's camera felt like a verdict. Kayla whispered, don't react. They're looking for emotion. How do I look human without showing it? He murmured back. The prosecutor spoke confidently about procedure. The officer's attorney promised context. Words polished to disguise violence. Marcus sat still, jaw tight. Across the aisle, Corporal Davis avoided his eyes. Outside, protesters filled the square. Handmade signs read, "Truth shouldn't need leaking." Others said, "Support our police." The same city occupies two different realities. That night, cable news replayed snippets out of order, editing pauses into tension. Lena watched silently, then turned off the TV. They don't want the truth, she said. They want ratings. By midsummer, the case had outgrown Eastwood. Journalists camped outside their house. A documentary crew from New York offered an exclusive. Marcus declined. "I'm not a show," he said. Yet the world kept watching. College students organized marches. A local church opened its parking lot for vigils. One evening, hundreds of candles lit the street where the arrest happened. Someone projected the words 92 seconds onto City Hall. Meanwhile, internal affairs scrambled. The anonymous whistleblower was identified, a janitor named Harold Green, 31, father of twins. He was fired and charged with data theft. Marcus felt sick. He told the truth and now he's paying for it. Kayla nodded grimly. That's how the system defends itself. Marcus spoke at Harold's hearing. Cameras captured his statement. If exposing a lie is a crime, then justice is upside down. The clip reached 5 million views in a week. Donations funded Harold's legal team. Strangers called him a hero. For a moment it felt like change might come. But change in America never walks, it limps. 6 months after the stop trial began. Outside, barricades separated crowds chanting opposite slogans. Inside, silence held its own weight. Kayla opened with quiet force. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a case about a broken taillight. It's about broken trust. She played the body cam footage frame by frame. Marcus's calm voice, the officer's escalating tone, the moment the hand reached for the holster though no threat existed. The courtroom gasped. Even the judge adjusted his glasses. Then came the defense. They argued stress, training, split-second decisions. They showed still frames cropped just enough to see doubt. During recess, Marcus sat in the hallway beside Lena. "What if they believe him?" she asked. "Then at least they heard me," he said. On day 4, the whistleblower Harold testified, risking further charges. His voice shook but didn't break. "I leaked it because I couldn't sleep knowing the truth was buried." When he stepped down, Marcus stood and clasped his hand. Cameras flashed. That image, 2 fathers, one punished for honesty, landed on front pages the next morning. The verdict came on a rainy Thursday, not guilty on all charges. The gavel struck once. The sound echoed like thunder and relief mixed together. Outside, crowds roared. Reporters shoved microphones forward. "Mr. Reed, how does it feel to win?" "I didn't win," Marcus said. "I survived." He hugged Lena, held Jordan close. The boy whispered, "Can we go home now?" "Yeah," Marcus said softly. "Home." The city issued a statement promising policy review. Both officers resigned quietly. No admission of guilt, no apology. But ripples spread. Local activists pushed through a body camera transparency ordinance named the Reed Amendment. Harold Green's charges were dropped. Still, Marcus couldn't sleep. Fame felt like surveillance. Every grocery trip came with stares. Reed Logistics sent a polite letter, position permanently filled. He started driving deliveries for an app. The pay was less but freedom meant more. A year later, sunlight spilled over Eastwood's Main Street. On the wall opposite City Hall, artists painted a mural, Marcus holding Jordan's hand beneath the words, "He was a father." Tourists took photos. School groups visited. Some locals crossed the street to avoid it, unwilling to face the reminder. Marcus opened a small community center nearby, the 92 Project, offering after-school tutoring and legal rights workshops. He taught kids what to do if stopped by police, how to film safely, how to stay alive. One afternoon, a teenage volunteer asked, "Do you ever hate them?" Marcus paused. "Hate's heavy. I carry enough already." At home, Lena gardened while Jordan rode his bike along the curb, laughter echoing through the block. Normalcy, fragile but real. Sometimes strangers stopped by just to shake Marcus's hand. Other times, hate mail still arrived. Both reminded him that stories don't end, they evolve. Narrator voice, calm, reflective. On a clear morning, Marcus drove to the same intersection where it all began. The new traffic light camera blinked red, recording everything for accountability. He parked, stepped out and looked up. For a long moment he simply stood, breathing, remembering. 92 seconds had nearly erased his life. Now each new second was a quiet victory. Change hadn't come from slogans or hashtags. It came from endurance, from people refusing to stay silent. Marcus Reed didn't want to be a symbol. He wanted to be forgotten in peace. But history rarely forgets those who make it confront itself. If this story moved you, don't scroll past it. Like this video, share it, and tell someone about Marcus Reed. Comment below, what does justice mean to you today? And please help us reach 5,000 subscribers so more voices like Marcus's are heard. Because silence never changed anything.